Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host, Roman Chavez. With me, as always,
Erik.
Erik.
What's up, man?
You can find us on the gram at REC Podcast. You can follow myself at Roman REC Podcast, and you can follow the shop at REC Comics. You can also visit us at 7679 North Union Boulevard in Colorado Springs. How are you doing this fine day,
Dude,
my friend?
I'm good, man.
Yeah?
Feeling pretty good, vibing.
Yeah?
Vibing, we got a good show.
I'm
very excited
really
about
good
this
show. Really good show.
Yeah, he texted me the topic. I was like, I'm on this.
All right. Well, we'll get to that
there,
at the
but
end.
we got a couple things to talk about first.
Your boy watched some movies this week.
Don't.
All right. Actually, I watched a few movies, and that's going to lead into what we do later too. But there is a Netflix film out right now called Spiderhead.
You got a spider on your head. What is that supposed to mean? Is that some sort of ghetto slang? No, you got a spider on your head. What movie is that from?
Money Talks?
Nothing to lose.
Dang it. I was going to...
Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence.
That's
anyway.
Right. No. It's not Martin Lawrence.
It is Martin Lawrence.
Is it Martin Lawrence? Okay.
Serious,
I'm thinking of the...
You're thinking of Money Talks with Chris Tucker and
Chris
Charlie
Tucker.
Sheen.
That's what I'm thinking. That's
Your girl is fat.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty hot and tempting.
Oh my gosh. How old are we, children? How old? We are quite. But yes, Netflix has a movie starring Chris Hemsworth, Miles Teller, and Journey Smollett.
Juicy.
Not Juicy, but Journey. Yeah, it's a Netflix movie, and my wife suggested it. I had seen some trailers for it, and kind of fun.
Okay.
Kind of fun. Not nothing to blow your hair back, but you've got charming Chris Hemsworth in a role that we don't see him play very often. The premise of the movie is the Spiderhead is kind of a new prison, and it's the only of its kind. It's open. Like all of the inmates there have various criminal charges, going from as small as tax fraud to murder, and they get to work at this facility doing janitorial work, cooking, and it's for them. They all pitch in. They have open quarters. They can do anything they want within the facility and on the island. They get visitations to the neighboring outside and everything. Right. But it's a state-of-the-art concept, because the warden of this place is Chris Hemsworth, and they're working on these chemicals. It's a little base unit that attaches to the small of your spine, and they're working on ways to influence people. Okay. Get them angry, get them sad, get them lustful, and if they can manufacture feelings through chemical situations. And if you participate in the trials, you're going to earn time off of your sentence, blah, blah, blah. Wackiness ensues, but was a really just interesting movie. It was it would be a really, really top-notch TV movie.
Okay.
It's definitely not a theatrical film.
It does sound like the idea is great. It sounds like it would be an awesome Philip K. Dick story.
It wouldn't shock me if it was a Philip K. Dick.
It does sound a little familiar, but I don't know. Yeah. But does it, like we were talking about, is it stretched too much?
No.
Is it stretched too thin? The premise is stretched too much?
No, it's a good amount of time. It's less than an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah. And for it
they're just trying to raise questions. Are emotions, can they fabricate emotions? Is that the point of the experiment?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So I'll leave it at that. But I hadn't watched anything really new in quite some time. It was a nice, what sort I'm looking for? A pleasant surprise. It wasn't great, a little predictable in parts, but if you're a Hemsworth person, if you like Miles Teller, this thing is full of charm.
The Smollett family.
Yeah, they're
enjoy
great.
Their work.
Yeah. Birds of Prey, excellent movie.
Actually, I'm not gonna get on Journey. She didn't do nothing.
No, of course not.
She's awesome. As far as I'm concerned.
She's good in everything I've seen her in.
It's that Philistine brother of yours.
And then the wife and I got out to a nice date night.
Yeah.
And we entered the danger zone. Oh. And not quite what you're thinking, kids. We went and watched Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but great things about this.
I know we're late. I'm late to the dance on this. You haven't seen it yet? I
have not seen it.
Well, Erik, unfortunately, we're going to have to discuss it a little bit. I won't spoil any of the minutia, but I will spoil some things for this film. It's been the number one movie in the world for several weeks in a row. I think it's knocking things off in their second weeks and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because, what is it going on? Like a Jurassic World 5 or whatever?
Yeah.
Who cares about that?
It's, we went on a Sunday night, and it was still a sold out show.
See,
it was massive.
I've heard nothing. I heard the accuracy from a lot of military personnel say it's a really accurate movie.
Yeah.
I heard Tom Cruise knocks it out of the park. But you said like the story is it's what you expect.
Yeah, it's exactly like if you haven't made it out yet, it is. I think in the vein of what you're expecting a Top Gun movie to be. It was, Tom Cruise is he's just awesome, giving us what we want.
Yeah.
It was said like on some online, like behind the scenes thing that there were people who were up for parts in this movie that refused the role because they didn't want to do the stunts. You're seeing, I mean, we're talking G-forces on these people's faces. I remember my dad, he was he worked for the Blue Angels, did mechanic and painting for the mechanical work and painting for the jets, and he would tell me that that Arnold Schwarzenegger cried because he was too big to fit in the jets. Like they used to take famous people up,
and he's like, I cannot fit.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let him, and then Schwarzenegger took everybody out for food and drinks and everything.
I heard he's a good guy.
Yeah. Not the most clandestine in his extracurriculars, but
that's not. We can't judge.
But my dad would tell me that like when you're in a jet, like there are these like maneuvers you have to do the pilots have to do. And maybe some people don't know this, and maybe you know this now that you've seen Top Gun. They don't say it in the movie, but like where you grunt and you make noises because of the way that it forces the blood to different parts of your body to do things.
Like singing.
Yeah, my dad told me this, and I had never seen it in a movie. Now, I've watched a bunch of dogfight movies, but it was really fascinating because these people were doing these stunts that they're like, it's a little distracting, but it's real.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see it because usually when you see, if you watch Independence Day and the fighters, like, oh my God,
Connick Jr.'s cracking lines.
Yeah. But in this, I mean, the premise of it is fantastic. What they have to do, again, faceless army. We're not sure who, if you remember the original, they were going up against MiGs, which are Russian planes, but they never say that they're Russians. This is very ambiguous in this movie as well.
Of course, you can't. Yeah, they can't. There's too much political hotness going around.
Exactly.
You can't be name checking countries.
Well, and hats off to Tom Cruise and his people. I don't know if you saw, but there was some. It was like on one of the bomber jackets, they had the Taiwanese flag on it, and China does not recognize Taiwan as a country.
Right.
So they told Tom Cruise and his company to pull it.
He's like,
no, and it's the #1 movie in the world right now. This is a huge.
That's dangerous. That's the real danger zone.
But it's a huge step in the right direction. We often have Disney.
Oh yeah.
WWE.
They're thinking. Yeah, they're selling out to slave labor camps in China. Yeah. And that's one of the big ups to Tom Cruise. I'm just saying that's a dangerous game to play.
It is, but it shows you that you don't need China's revenue to have a blockbuster. Something that wasn't Marvel, something that wasn't Monster, something that was literally America. Hell yeah.
And I think we needed a movie like that right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
These times, we need a good push, patriotic, not overtly like we're the best, blah blah blah, but just a good feel good. I'm proud to be an American movie.
Yeah. They do a great job of tugging on the right heartstrings. Like I think for the most part, people enjoy Top Gun 1. Sure. It's obviously a ridiculous movie.
Was this ridiculous?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's ridiculous but modern. Like they don't have a beach volleyball scene.
I was going to say I need a homoerotic jean shorts volleyball scene. They
have a beach football scene, and it's awesome.
Oof.
And
more.
It's everything you want.
Talking about pulling on heartstrings.
And our boy John Hamm is in it too. He's got an interesting role.
Can we do a mild spoiler? I'm sure everyone knows, but
yes,
Iceman.
The Iceman is in there. Val Kilmer. They did him justice.
Doing his best Marceau impression.
They did a really good job of incorporating his character, having it make sense. Tugging on the heartstrings of Talk to Me Goose stuff. Like, it really did hit all of these notes. Where they brought in Jennifer Connelly as the love interest, the kind of bar owner of that shanty place that they go to. And
did they bring old Horseface back?
They did not bring back Meg Ryan.
No. Tom Cruise's girlfriend.
No, she is not aged. Who ages like Tom Cruise? Nobody.
Paul Rudd.
Jennifer Connelly looked great. But yes, the actress from that, they wove it into where she's not really mentioned, but like Jennifer Connelly and Maverick have a past.
Okay.
And they do it in a way that makes sense. It has the hottest sex scene you've probably ever seen in a not R-rated film.
Oh, okay. Between
so,
Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly?
Yes.
Or
like,
between Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise?
Yeah, it may be too hot for TV.
Oh.
So you're going to have to check that out and tell me what you think
put some ice on
of that. Yeah, you got to put a little ice on that salve, baby. All right? But, dude, all in all, it was a solid film. It's what you want. It's ridiculous. There is an added benefit to them doing those scenes that really does add to the story.
Of course, yeah.
Very awesome. One of the one of the bombers, her call sign was Phoenix.
Ooh, well, there you go.
So, you tell me I'm not being
they have
followed.
They have women pilots?
Oh my gosh.
No, for real. I'm just
they did. I think they had
wondering.
one in the Top Gun program.
Oh, okay.
But it's just like this ridiculous thing where it's like this impossible mission that nobody can do. So we got to bring Maverick in.
Sure.
Well, why not just have Maverick do the mission?
Yeah, I know.
Like it's absolutely like it's flimsy but fun.
Lots
That's all
of
I'll say.
dogfights.
Not lots of dogfights, but lots of training for dogfights, where it's Maverick. Like all of the people in this thing, they've already graduated Top Gun.
Oh, okay.
They're already the best of the best. Now they've got to beat Maverick.
Gotcha.
So
my favorite dogfight is the Michael Vick videos. Those are my favorite kind of dogfights.
This guy's terrible.
Anyway, but movie.
Gamma Dogs, my favorite dogfight from the Hulk, from Eric Bana's.
Jennifer Connelly dropped
Jennifer Connelly. There we go. Crossover. See, we got it there, kids. We got it there. But the other movie that I watched this week that I am quite obsessed with right now, guys, I'm going to say it. It's my favorite MCU movie right now.
Okay.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We've already talked about it. Eric and I went opening night, but it went on Disney Plus in the last week.
So watch it.
And I've watched it twice in the last couple days. I love it. It's
movie,
not
man.
perfect. It is not perfect. But in terms of like, you want to watch something with action, with a little bit of heart, with a lot of characters.
Yeah. And
some scares. Like it's like it's a well composed dish.
Right.
Where maybe you don't like broccoli. It's not your favorite, but they did a broccoli in a way that it's working with the rest of the
it,
Yeah. And so I have watched this. I was trying to catch things that I may have missed.
Sure.
Not too much that the internet you guys haven't already found, but I just find myself really, it's craveable. Like I would watch it again tonight. I'm actually going to watch it with your dad. I'm going to have him over to the house some point because he hasn't seen it.
He has not seen it.
Yeah, and I cannot get enough of it. So it got me thinking, and I think that we had talked about it briefly one other time to do it. But I asked our boy Eric, and I said to myself, what would our version of the DC Illuminati be? If spoilers for Marvel, if you haven't watched Doctor Strange yet, the Illuminati in the comics is a group of 6 Marvel individuals from Earth: Doctor Strange, Black Bolt, Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic,
Black Bolt.
I already said that. Professor X and Namor.
Yep.
Okay, they get together in secret to handle some things that the entire world shouldn't know about.
They're preemptively trying to get in front of problems that may face the Earth. Read it. It's my boy's favorite.
It's my favorite
story.
Marvel miniseries ever.
It's amazing. Read
High praise.
So we thought we would pick 6 DC characters that would run the Illuminati in the DC universe.
And Eric is we have not conversed about this beforehand.
Talked about it
so we're gonna get to. I want to hear what you have to say, and then I shall rebute,
and
then
then
I'm gonna say a 6.
Talk.
And we'll see where this goes, guys. So hopefully you guys are into this idea. Just kind
it's
of
gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Re-inspired by DC, or I'm sorry, the Multiverse of Madness, because there is a version of the Illuminati in there.
Right.
So that's what's got me thinking again.
Yes.
Okay.
Real quick, I just will say this was a lot harder than I thought. I had it up to 15, so I had to whittle it down to 6. So this is my 6. You ready?
Yes.
Number 1, leader of the team, the one that calls them together, Amanda Waller.
Okay.
Number 2, the magic side, John Constantine. My muscle and almost a diplomat, Wonder Woman. I got the tech person, the one that's kind of, the tech guy, Mr. Terrific.
What a great pull.
I got our telepath / kind of space person, Martian Manhunter.
Nice.
And I've got our media / business guru, Talia al Ghul.
Wow. What? I like that. I like
Well,
that.
at the end, I'll give you the ones that
didn't make the list?
didn't make the list, and I'm like, oh, so close.
Okay. Aside from that, like what makes you think that group could work together? That they could.
I will say this: you need not necessarily heroes, but individuals in this universe that see things in the gray area. You know, trying to do what's best for the world. Sometimes doing what's best for the world, you got to get your hands dirty. All of the people I listed here don't mind getting their hands dirty, especially Waller. That's why I think Waller would put the team together. Like, okay, we need to get in front of this stuff. Kind of why she wanted to put the Suicide Squad together. It's like, okay, there could be a problem. Let's get in front of this, preemptively take them out. So I could see her like, okay, Constantine, Dr. Fate was one of my strong choices,
but it was obvious.
It was too obvious. Plus, he's a slave to the helmet.
Yes,
the helmet is going to have a say in what he does. Constantine, he'll do what's right, but he's going to do bad to do what's right. He plays dirty and for keeps.
Remind me to talk about why I didn't choose Dr. Fate when I do mine.
Sweet. And Wonder Woman, we got to have a heavy and someone who is an accomplished diplomat. You know, she knows how to talk. You know, and just her presence alone is, you know, she's a goddess.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to allow like, oh, Wonder Woman, people are going to maybe relax off the triggers a little bit. Okay, I'm not fighting Wonder Woman.
And I mean, she
knows how to talk.
And she speaks for not only the Themysterians, but for gods. To an extent.
Exactly.
And, you know, she can represent that. I think that's a great choice.
Yep. And then Mr. Terrific, you know, he has a great quote. He's like, everyone's got a superpower. Mine is learning. The guy, if you don't know Mr. Terrific, is like the polymath. He's listed as the third smartest person in the DC universe. So he's the tech guy. He can literally just invent anything. He's kind of like Forge a little bit.
Well, he's great. He's a savant.
Yes.
He's just good at everything. And he's an atheist, which is an interesting idea. And he was going to kill himself off of a bridge at one point.
Yes.
And and there's another person going to kill themselves as well, and he ends up talking them off of the ledge, which gives him the notion to become this character. And he's the second Mr. Terrific,
he's one of the second.
Who was a sports savant who believed in fair play. And that's why you'll see this character, and he has fair play on his. He's a fantastic character. I didn't even think about him, and I love him.
Okay, well, I picked him because he's the tech guy.
Okay.
You know, you're gonna have someone who, you know, say we have a problem, or you know, there's a problem posing the world with tech.
Yes.
You know, he can analyze it. Okay, this is what it is, and him being a savant, he's not going to moralize everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be, okay, this is why we're doing it. There's no, you know, it's right in the middle for him. Then we got Martian Manhunter. You got to have a telepath. And you got to have someone who's going to represent, you know, space or a different planet, because he's seen what not doing things preemptively can do to a planet.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah, and Talia al Ghul, you know, she's worked for LexCorp, daughter of Ra's al Ghul. And she's like a media savant, for lack of a term. Yeah. She knows how to handle the media, and she can, you know, get in places and talk. She's kind of like the Tony Stark.
And did you say that she used to run LexCorp?
She worked for LexCorp.
But I think when Lex was president, she
ran it.
Yeah,
okay, so she ran it. Okay, so there you go.
So, yeah, dude, I love that.
Okay.
Wow, what a fascinating list. Yeah. You had a couple there that I didn't even think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think about Mr. Terrific. I did think about Dr. Fate, and I went away from him because he was too easy.
Right.
I was trying not to go too easy.
Right. Yeah, that's why there's no Batman on our list.
It's hard not to do Batman on this list.
Right.
And I initially had Batman on my list.
Right, but he wouldn't do it. But I think we'll get into this after.
I think we'll have some things to say. Yeah. So I'm going to say what mine are now. I love your team. I think your team is... The Constantine thing is another thing that I didn't think about, because you need somebody who... You have a good balance of morality and do what needs to be done.
Right.
And you have it from John's perspective, where he'll do what has to be done regardless, and Terrific's perspective, where it's like, we have to do this because the odds are that we survive better this way. Yeah. So, wow, what a great... Yeah. I'm very impressed with your list.
Thank you.
I'm going to have one obvious one, I think, but my person who puts the team together is Lex.
Ooh.
Because Lex is concerned about the well-being of the planet.
Makes sense.
In terms of humanity being supreme on the planet. So for him, this is a way for him to try to get his hands on those things and see what's happening if there's a strategical advantage. But if he doesn't form this group will be formed without him.
Makes sense.
So he does not... So he is forming the group.
Okay.
I think... I'm going to come back to that later, okay? Yeah. I also had Wonder Woman. Okay? Ooh. I also had Wonder Woman for a few reasons that I'll wrap up on my last person, but for all of your reasons, plus what I'll talk about at the end. Cool. I'm going in a weird order, but I got to do it this way.
So Lex, Wonder Woman.
Black Adam.
He was on my list too, but awesome.
But he's obvious.
Yeah.
But he is just the Namor.
He's the Namor.
He's the Namor. But we need, for me, it's the ruthlessness of Namor less than the powers that they bring, but the ruthlessness with the powers that you may like. The way that Namor speaks to the Beyonder, in the issue of the Illuminati,
Black
Adam is not going to hold his words, and you need that in this group.
That makes sense.
So it's not just a power standpoint, but he does represent magic. He does represent gods.
Yep. He's a heavy.
Yes, he's a heavy. Yep. And I think he makes a ton of sense on this group. He's a leader of a country too.
That's true. That's true.
You know, like I think Doom. You know, he also then serves that purpose of like a Black Panther as well.
Right, oh, for sure.
But not with without the morality.
Yeah.
Vandal Savage.
He was a hard one to get off my list.
So initially I thought about Raish, and that was too easy.
Too easy.
And Raish does not care about the people.
Hell no.
He has no problem raising the whole, burning the whole planet down, letting the forest take over again, as long as he's there.
Exactly.
So Vandal Savage was a caveman who a meteorite crashed near their camp. And his brethren thought that it was anger from the gods, but he went close to it because it was warm, and it hyper evolved him.
He got 2001: A Space Odyssey, basically.
Yes, and so he has been around since prehistoric times. As Constantinople, as these different, as one of the Caesars. So he's been throughout. So it's in his best interest to know what's going on.
Yes, and he's seen what happens too.
And Lex would go to him to not upset him.
That makes sense.
So he would go to him, and he would go to him first, because if Raish were to be a problem, Vandal Savage could handle that.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay? I'm a little light on the hero side of it, but another one, and I think you're going to be shocked that we had crossover, was Martian Manhunter.
Ooh!
Okay? But my reasons for Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter are different than yours. Okay? But they're also your reasons, because he witnessed a civilization. He is not a Martian anymore. He lives on Earth. He's lived on Earth for a long time as several people.
Sure.
And most notably as Detective John Jones.
That's right.
So he's lived amongst us. Like, he has an invested... Like, this is his home now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay? And he can, keep... You need the telepath, to your point. And whereas, even though Superman may technically be more powerful, like, he's like Captain America. He's not going to keep these secrets.
Right. That's true.
And the final member of my Illuminati is Alfred Pennyworth.
Oh my God! Nice, man.
So
okay, that would be a twist. I freaking love that, dude.
Here's what happens.
Okay,
so Lex goes to Bruce.
Gotcha.
Bruce says, "No way."
Gotcha.
No way at all. Bruce tells Alfred about this, and Alfred is an ex-MI6, ex-secret,
Right.
He knows that Bruce needs to have ears in here.
Yes.
And he finds the meeting without an invitation to show that he can be there.
Ooh.
Okay?
I like it.
And obviously, Wonder Woman and Bruce have this connection.
Yeah.
So if Bruce trusts Wonder Woman can trust Alfred.
Absolutely.
And vice versa.
Yeah, of course.
Martian Manhunter and and Bruce have a very strong connection.
That's right.
When Martian Manhunter died in comics, one of my favorite scenes is they bury him on Mars, and everybody kind of says their stuff. And as everybody's walking away, Bruce goes and puts an Oreo on his casket, and he says, "Dream of red sands, my friend."
Yeah.
So Bruce has a high level of respect for John. So Alfred shows how he could get there,
right? And
then that's how he proves it. And his thing is like, look, there's no way that this goes on without me being involved. Right. And and then Wonder Woman and obviously Martian Manhunter would vouch for him and all of that.
Of course.
So that Alfred was my way to get Batman in there.
I like that. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yes. I really like that, man. Their team is it's really well rounded, and I like your Lex point.
Yes,
he would initially I had Lex on there, but my reasoning was he's too self-involved. But then you broke it down like, no, he is for humanity. He's like the Ubermensch.
Yeah.
He hates Superman.
Yeah.
He's all about humanity.
Yeah. And then obviously having John there creates problems for him. But,
sure.
But he knows. But
but he's acclimated enough.
Yeah.
You know?
And John, I'm sure he'll create. Lex will create something to shield his thoughts.
Oh, sure, of course.
But I think that the idea. Like I said, I thought it was weird that you and I both chose Wonder Woman and John,
right.
But for the same reasons. And then, like I said, the Alfred thing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Alfred was my curveball. Waller was yours.
Yeah,
yours is more obvious to me now that you said it. But
right.
She wasn't on my list at all.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
But I didn't even think about it until you said she would put her team together, and I was like, oh yeah, Lex would put our team together.
Exactly.
So
yes.
I fed off of what
probably
you were
for
saying.
the same kind of reasoning. They want tabs on things, or they want to know like what's a huge thing. What would be like an Infinity Gauntlet level threat be in the DC universe? Like,
I think that you could argue just the idea of having several cores being formed by sentient AI to police.
Is this OMAC?
No. Green Lantern, or Red Lanterns.
Oh, okay.
Several,
putting together. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
How hey, we just had the Green Lanterns, and at least they're on our side.
Right.
But now we have Red Lanterns, and now we have the Indigo Tribe.
Yes.
Like those things would be something that they would have to try to look into.
That's true.
Like stuff like that. Like their
yes.
stuff might be less Earth-based and
Right.
more outside, but in different ways.
Right.
Because obviously they had. Like I thought about putting Hal on there.
Sure. I didn't. For a minute, I did. I had him for a second.
Hal answers to the Owens.
That's what I'm saying.
For the same way that you. Oh yeah, for the same way I didn't choose Dr. Fate
Right.
for that same thing.
Yes.
And that and if Fate dies, we don't know that. If Fate dies in the process,
right.
we don't know that the helmet finds a host that is willing to play ball.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's
so true.
I think that it was very hard. Who were some that
okay, I had Vandal Savage for those reasons.
Okay.
Like talk about a guy who's lived how many lifetimes, seen the rise and fall of how many civilizations. You would want someone, but that's kind of why I had John.
Had stopped Ra's al Ghul a couple times with Ra's al Ghul not knowing.
Oh,
so
see, I had Ra's, but I'm like,
Ra's would not play ball.
He would not, but Talia would.
Talia, dude, I think the Talia thing makes so much sense.
Talia, that's kind of a way to have Lex in there too.
She has her father's ruthlessness with with a little bit of eyes on the prize, as long as there's not love involved.
Right. Yeah, she's got a little bit of Batman's ideology, Bruce's ideology. A little bit. I think it's rubbed off on her, maybe that's sexually transmitted. But I had Vandal Savage. I did have Black Adam and Lex.
Yeah.
Let's see who else did I have on there. I had Aquaman.
Black Adam is there because but the thing is,
that's when I was literally trying to mirror the Marvel Illuminati initially. I was like, okay, I need to find their DC counterparts. This isn't working for me.
I agree, and I think again, terrific Talia, such great additions.
Yeah,
I don't feel that Arthur commands the same the Atlantis the way that Namor does.
No,
so yeah,
they're way different.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be the person who could, make
a
fill
tough
that role.
Call.
Yes,
like Namor would make a tough call no matter what.
Yeah,
like if it meant killing a few people to save it, there's no thought. Yeah. Namor's gonna do it.
Yeah, Alfred is a more brutal Batman if he wants to be.
Yeah.
So
the guy worked. He worked for Her Majesty's Secret Service. So
yeah,
he'll do dirt. He's done dirt.
He knows things.
Yes.
And like I said, for him, like in my scene. In my head, like it works out. It works with Batman going to speak with Lex. Lex saying that, Bruce coming back and being like, "This is what's happening."
Yeah,
like this is wild. And then he's gonna keep tabs on Lex.
Right.
But then Alfred's like we might need this.
Yeah.
So he gets in there.
Yeah, at least have some bat ears in there.
And if anybody knows how to, if anybody can lie to Batman, it's Alfred. Yeah,
that's so cool.
So
I had Nightwing in there for a second, just for a second, but I'm like, he wouldn't do this.
No. You need people in weird Alfred.
I wanted to get a Bat family. You found a way to get the Bat family in there. I was trying to, and I'm like, I can't. There's nobody that would. Jason Todd's too unhinged. Wouldn't work. Damien's too unhinged. It wouldn't work.
Yeah. And the thing is that if something happens to Alfred,
Right.
Batman then looks into it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Alfred's doing this as a tactical thing.
That makes sense.
Because if he hears something like
if something happens to Alfred, you're done.
and then if
Batman's coming for you.
So he knows it's like, even if Batman doesn't know,
Yeah.
Alfred's going to leave him something. If Alfred goes missing, Batman will look to the ends of the earth. So even there's a backup plan that Alfred has a plan for. So
I had Zatanna.
I had Zatanna
but
too.
I don't think she's field experience.
Yeah.
Like constant. Like John literally goes out and looks for this stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Zatanna is a performer.
And John knows more about demons.
Yeah.
So you need the occult things.
Yeah.
I love your team.
Yeah.
I think your team is very
well
well
thought out. I like yours too, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love your Alfred thing. Like, that got me. That threw me. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. And Waller, terrific.
Did you have Swamp Thing on your team?
I
thought about it, but then it was starting to look like Justice League Dark.
Yes.
I was like, I gotta get away from that.
I was trying to figure it out since he represents the green.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. He's more like Raish. He would be too focused on one particular aspect of it.
Yes.
Yeah,
you can't really order Swamp Thing around.
No.
That's not happening.
And he doesn't control anything other than what's near him. So it's not like he does the whole planet. It's not that. It is, Black Adam has the power of the gods.
Yes.
Yes. Like he's got juice.
Yeah.
And Swamp Thing has power, but it's not the power like if Lex is going to be doing stuff that's probably not the best for the planet.
Right.
But maybe if you have Swamp Things on there, he starts to try to figure things out. I don't know. It really... I applaud DC's restraint.
From trying to do this.
Yeah, from trying to mirror it.
But you can do this. It would be cool.
Yeah.
I like to see them try to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think they know deep down if they did this, they would just be like, okay, everyone knows what we're doing.
They really got away with doing two very strong zombie stories after Marvel did it, and just because Marvel dropped the ball, and then DC hats off, Blackest Night and Deceased, fantastic stories. And honestly, better than any of the Marvel zombie stuff, with the exception of I still like the first appearance in Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah,
that is a really good setup. It's just not as strong.
And now they're just overusing the zombies. Well, they did for a minute.
They did for a while.
Little Marvel zombies were
6 or 7 volumes of it.
Yeah.
So. Wow, what a that went to a place that I did not think it was going to go.
That was cool. I like these little lists when we do them sometimes.
It's been a while since we had done a fun one. So, kids, that's our show.
Yeah, put together your lists.
I would love to hear what yours. If you want to explain, cool, put that below. I will read all of them.
Yes,
but definitely put your teams on there. I would love to see it. They don't have to be all heroes or all villains. No. I balanced it the way I think you balanced it as well. Whereas Waller's your wild card. Alfred's my wild card.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yes, if you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to know when new shows come out. Eric, do you have any final thoughts for us today?
No, it was fun. That was just really fun. And are you willing to die for stupidity?
I'm not. I'm not loco.
You think I'm crazy? Loco. And Jim Shooter.
Jim, I hope we see you in San Diego, Jim, because Eric's got it out for you. I don't know why, but he's got it out for you. Kids, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I have been your host, Roman Chavez.
I'm still Erik Icarus.
And we will catch you on the next podcast.